The answer is 200. The question, am I repeating the same bit that I did at the beginning of my top 25 worst movies of 2022 list? Well, yes, but the bonus question, how many of these movies were actually really goddamn good? Because let's be perfectly honest, when you review 200 goddamn movies, they're going to be rage-inducing movies. They give you absolute fury, the fury of 1,000 suns with the Big Bang Theory, the show, and also how the goddamn Big Bang happened. In fact, I would prefer the Big Bang as opposed to watching the Big Bang Theory just explode something in my head, because it's certainly funnier than the Big Bang Theory. But anyway, there are actually a lot of movies that create sadness, but also elation and happiness. And I'm here to talk about the ones that I really goddamn liked. I mean, really, really liked. And there are over 50 A-grade movies that I had on my list. And I managed to whittle them down to, well, a 25 list, but also some honorable mentions. Let's talk about them. I'm John Redland with my top 25 best movies of 2022 list with some honorable mentions. Let me know your favorite movies in the comments, please. Full reviews of these are found on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist, and also the top 25 worst movies of 2022 list, depending on when you're watching this, is also on there. So yeah, I have watched quite a few good ones. Unfortunately, there were 90 F grade movies, and there were like about 53 to 55, A grade movies. I forget the exact number because counting them all would take for goddamn ever. But it's definitely a hell of a split. I mean, I either really, really hated something or I really, really loved something. And some of these movies actually surprised me. I did a top 10 most surprising movies of 2022 list that you can check out on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist. Easy for me to say. Let's crack on with the honorable mentions. Revealer, a great Shudder original that indie style, but you know what, really goddamn entertaining. Piggy, same thing. Actually very good. Very French and very, very frightening, especially in the last 10 minutes. Moloch, which is also very good. A lot of good Shudder originals this year. Bubble. Bubble was a very, very, very good animated movie that actually really, really touched me as far as its story. Another animated movie is actually on the list, by the way. The Outfit, which was a great one-act play, and just essentially, that's essentially the concept of it, but it was in a tailor shop with gangsters in the 1950s, and it was very, very good. Mark Rylance really having a hell of a 2022. Blood Relatives, another Shudder original that showed how father and daughter could work if they were vampires and traveling. The Feast, very bizarre Irish, I think it's Irish or Welsh, horror movies that, this horror movie really had a goddamn weird ending. Hellbender, made by a family that really understands how to make goddamn good movies. I gotta check them out. Parents and their daughter, and they don't phone it in. They do some good stuff. Scream. I know that people didn't like Scream 5 If Man Is Still Alive. I did. Just not enough to put anywhere except in the honorable mentions. Lightyear, which is quite terrific, and I think everybody that got upset and got pearl clutching with the LGBTQ couple, oh god, a lesbian couple in a Disney movie, oh no. Lightyear was also entertaining and very well done. I don't understand why it failed at the box office. The Lost City, Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum and Brad Pitt. What more could you ask for? I'll throw some Romancing the Stone stuff in there and you could get something quite good. Sonic 2, way better than Sonic 1, even though Sonic 1 was fine. Bones and All, speaking of Mark Rylance, God, he was creepy in this, and this was really fun. From the director of Suspiria, or Suspiria, I'm never sure how to pronounce that. You Won't Be Alone. This was good. This was very good. It was very weird. It was a great study on how people would want to live as humans. Watch the movie, you'll understand. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Yeah. It was Beavis and Butthead movie, and it was just as entertaining as the first one. And The Banquet. More British stuff. So now let's crack on with the top 25. The Worst Person in the World. From Neon Studios, and it was Norwegian, and it was about couples that drift apart. And it was good. It was really good. In fact, great. And that's why it's on here. Very good acting, and from people whose names, if I tried to pronounce them, I probably wouldn't be able to, but goddamn, it was good. It was really, really, really good. Like, very well shot also, and shows how sometimes, maybe you break up with somebody and you might regret it, or other times you realize even as much as you love them, breaking up may have been the best thing that happened to you. Number 24, The Woman King. Viola Davis and, God, I can't remember the co-star's name. The younger woman that was with her, who was really, really good in this, but Viola Davis. she was great in this, and this was just a great period piece with great fight scenes. I mean, really, really incredible fight scenes, and a lot of great cinematography, and it was given a lot of time. And did it play around with history? Was it alternate history? Well, yes, that's how they describe it in the description, but did it deal with some real life events that actually happened as opposed to real life events that didn't happen? Yeah, it actually ended up doing some pretty goddamn good stuff and ended up really, really accomplishing what it needed to. It did some good. You did good. You did goddamn good. You did really, really goddamn good. So anyway, The Woman King. Viola Davis was great. Del Toro's Pinocchio is in at number 23. It was Guillermo. It was Del Toro. The guy that did Pan's Labyrinth and Pacific Rim and Hellboy. And a guy that really understands horror and understands how to make things dark, but also make things whimsical. And that's what he did with this Pinocchio. Fun fact, the Disney Tom Hanks led Pinocchio movie is on my worst list. Where? You'll have to watch the video to find out. But whew, this one got me right in the feels. I was originally going to put it a lot higher, and then I realized as much as I enjoyed it, and I really, really did enjoy it, I thought that the music, a couple of the songs were good, and then everything else, every other song was kind of, yeah. It was what it was. So, let's get to number 22. Men. We're men in tights. We're going to go give, this woman a fright. Men got a lot of flack. It was from writer-director Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina and also Annihilation. Annihilation I did not care for. Ex Machina I liked. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch Annihilation. But it annihilated my senses, so maybe I shouldn't. Ah ha ha ha. Men had one of the most bonkers goddamn third acts I've seen in a while. Holy shit. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But great cinematography. I thought very good acting from the two leads. And it also talked about dealing with loss. And the fact that really fucked up shit might happen as to how you deal with loss and everything. And seriously, what the hell was going on those last 30 minutes? I mean, I get it, but I also don't, because I think Alex Garland took a bunch of mushrooms. And I'm not talking about the ones on pizza that you shouldn't put on pizza, by the way, because only pepperoni and cheese belong on pizza, in my opinion. Ha ha ha, there's a controversy. Man was really good, though. Really, really good. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I'm never going to go through it. I'm never going to walk through a British tunnel again. Then again, I never really have. So anyway, let's get to number 21, The Spine of Night. Yeah, check out... Check this one out on Shudder. It's like a team of animators. They worked on it over time or whatever. It was like individual people. It was worked during the pandemic, but it was a labor of love, and you could tell different animation styles. At times, it almost reminded me of the Zelda CDI games. Well, better voice acting and better animation. It's just sometimes the style reminded me of that. But it was an incredibly well-told story. And the creators, all of them, everybody that put this thing together, the labor of love, bravo fucking bo. Really enjoyed The Spine of Night. Check it out. It is on Shudder. And yeah, I'm praising that stuff that much already. And we're only at number 21. Well, what's number 20? Silence! Who wants to play Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? I mean, you don't really want to play that game because you'd have to be around Pete Davidson, the human lemur as I call him. But nevertheless, the fact that the main girl in this was Rue in the Hunger Games still blows my mind. I'm like, what happened? Time is a flat circle. Good God. And she was good in this, and other people were as well. It was entertaining. It was fun. It had good horror elements. It was more of a horror comedy. It was from A24. So was Men. A24 had a goddamn great year if you ignore Causeway and The Eternal Daughter. But I digress. They've had a hell of a goddamn year. They've had a hell of a goddamn few years, in fact. So yeah, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is quite entertaining. At least in my personal opinion it is. I know there were some people that didn't like it, and that's okay. So number 19, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I might have gotten that wrong. Of course, Massive Talent, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nicolas Cage's return to form after doing Pig, Willy's Wonderland, and various other movies. After Wicker Man pretty much cemented the fact that he was going off his goddamn tits and whatever, and he was just going goddamn crazy. He returned to form, paid off his debts, and now The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was his ascent back into superstardom. admittedly, he'd actually been turning in some good performances. I mean, Color Out of Space was goddamn great, at least I thought. So I was glad to see him get a chance to have some meta commentary on his own career and everything, and actually craft a pretty goddamn entertaining movie. There is one particular friend of mine that would probably put this in their top 10 or top 5, and that's fine. But guess what? This is my list. But I don't blame them because they really like Nicolas Cage. You know who you are and you're an awesome person. But this was really, really great shit. Nicolas Cage is having a blast. Speaking of having a blast, number 18, The Menu. When you get to the mess, oh boy, get ready for the rest. Good grief. Ooh, boy. Anya Taylor-Joy. Anytime you slap her on the label, I will watch. And if you slap Anya Taylor-Joy, I'll frickin' punch you because she's a goddess and should only be handled with care. But nevertheless, yeah, Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, and it was great shit. It's a recent entry on this list. It's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. God damn, this was a great commentary on rich people and critics, and just, it was messy and bloody. The mess part got me, and then the rest of it got me. I mean, it was good before, but whew, that really got me. Number 17, The Fabelmans. Okay, admittedly, as far as film quality, this probably should be way, way higher. I'm putting this further down on the list because, though I enjoyed The Fabelmans quite a bit, one of Spielberg's best of the last 20 or so years, he still got it. He's got the touch. He got the power. But this was well crafted. The guy that played, Sammy, it's Spielberg's unofficial biopic. It was great shit. It was really, really great shit with great acting. Paul Dano, I believe was his name. The guy that was in the Batman. He was great as a dad. Michelle Williams was great as the mother. And it was just overall well crafted, dealt with the stuff as best it could, and showed the power of filmmaking, the love of filmmaking, and Spielberg hasn't lost his touch. Very good stuff. And pretty much the most recent entry on this list of favorite movies. And then we get to number 16, Tar, Cate Blanchett. I ask again, like in Nightmare Alley, and I mean Nightmare Alley more or less showed this to me more. Was Cate Blanchett always hot? Was it just me? Just me, I liked her in Nightmare Alley. She was good in this, and even though it was fictitious as far as being a female composer that rose to prominence, they really crafted it like it was goddamn legit, and god damn, she sunk her teeth into this, and sunk her whole face in this, and buried it and everything, and rubbed it around, and flapped the tongue around, and lost my train of thought, but she did a lot of really good, she had a lot of really good scenes in this. She did some really goddamn incredible acting work. And Tar deserves its mention. And this is another one that probably should be a little bit higher on this list, but it's my list. That's why I'm putting it here. And no, I have not, full disclosure before I get to the top 15. I have not seen The Whale. I have not seen I Want to Dance with Somebody. I have not seen Babylon. I have not seen various others. Why? Because I have been busy with work, and that's why I'm doing this now. And also 200 movies. I don't think adding 3 more is going to make a difference. Sure, it could have knocked something else off this list. One of them could have. 2 of them could end up being 2 of the worst movies of the year. Who goddamn knows? You also notice that Avatar 2, The Way of Water, is not on this or the worst list. Why? I am not watching James Cameron's Fern Gully Smurf Fap Fest. I'm not watching it. Anyway, number 50, Tar, really good. Tar was really, really, really good. Cate Blanchett, incredible goddamn work. And the young girl who was the violinist, in this, well, actually, she was a young musician that was Russian. Her first acting job, put her in more shit. Her name is a little bit awkward, so that's why I can't remember, but she was really, really good. Number 15, Barbarian. I knew nothing about this movie going into it beyond a few trailers, and I hadn't really seen all that much, and within the first 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, we're going here now. We're going with all these directions and everything, and the girl who played Tess was so goddamn good. Bill Skarsgård was in this, and Justin Long was in this, and there are some people that didn't like the tonal shift about halfway through, and there are some people that didn't like the conclusion, and that's fine. I totally understand why some people may have not cared for that stuff. I enjoyed it as a complete package, and there was also this point when they did a flashback, and the way they shot it was just so goddamn creepy and great. It was so good, and I don't understand exactly what I watched, but I know I loved it. I know I absolutely loved this goddamn movie, and that's why it's number 15. Number 14, The Batman. Yeah, I didn't think that Edward from Twilight was going to do that great as the Batman. I was wrong. It was gritty. It was dark, literally dark. It was kind of hard to see some things that were going on. Colin Farrell was great as the Penguin. Colin Farrell will get mentioned a little bit later in this list. And other, just so much great acting in this. Paul Dano and so many other people. And Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I wasn't thinking it. I was totally thinking it. Have you seen her? How can you not? This was, come on, oh man, this is great. Can't wait to see what the sequel's going to be. Because if it's anything like this, we're going to actually be, we are going to be in for something incredible. This was really good. This was a return to fucking form for Batman. I mean, even though the Christopher Nolan trilogy was good, what Ben Affleck did was what it was. But anyway, the Batman, great shit. Number 13, The Banshees of Inisherin. See, I told you Colin Farrell was going to be coming back. Colin Farrell and a couple others just crafted this great movie with great acting about two best friends that separate and can't figure out why. Colin Farrell can't figure out why. And it's set in the 1920s on an island, Ireland, which I assume is Inisherin. I don't know what the actual name of the island is because I think Inisherin is a fake island. I think it's a fake name. I'm not sure. I'm not as brushed up on my Irish geography as I should be, but nevertheless, really good, really well acted, and great pace to it. Another one I thought was going to be in the top 10, but as far as acting, as far as pacing, absolutely deserves its shout, and deserves the accolades it's getting at the Oscars. Number 12, Smile. If you told me that Smile was going to be anywhere near the top 10 or even on my favorites list or even something that I modestly enjoyed, I would have laughed and wanted to beat you to death with a sock full of dead snakes. Why would snakes be in a dead sock? What kind of sock would I be holding to have dead snakes? Let's stop talking about dead snakes. Dead snakes, why'd it have to be dead snakes? Smile just ended up being really creepy, really well written, really well acted, and good God, Susie Bacon was really incredible in this. Great, opening or great, lead role for her here. Can't even come up with the words. And that ending, maybe not want to hear Lollipop by the Colettes ever again. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lollipop. Watch it if you haven't seen. Sure, it's like The Grudge and The Ring, but this just really, maybe it's because my expectations were so low, but I did rewatch it recently. Oh no, it's just as good. It's just as goddamn good. Number 11, Turning Red. Strange World got put on streaming, or got put in theaters, and then put on streaming within a month. Turning Red ended up being put right onto streaming on Disney+. They did the same with Soul, but I sort of understood it because theaters were opening back up. They had no excuse not to release Turning Red in theaters. Of course, everybody clutched their pearls. By everybody, I mean the goddamn stupid Christians and all the people that want to get all religious and say, oh my God, they're talking about menstruation, they're talking about all this stuff, and they're implying, LGBTQ stuff. It was mostly just a menstruation thing. That's what they did about Lightyear. Everybody's getting upset. Oh my God, Turning Red. They're talking about girls turning into, going into womanhood. Yeah, because it happens to every woman. I'm every woman. Don't know the rest of the words. Oh. Turning Red, yeah, a girl basically finds out that she can turn into a red panda whenever she gets flustered and upset because it's an allegory for for turning into a woman and periods and all that. No, God, we can't have that talk. Give kids, how to do shooter drills, but we can't have girls understand what periods are like. Turning Red is really great, though. I don't know why they had a twerking red panda at one point, but the movie was great and just misses out in the top 10. What's in the top 10? Well, let's find out. Considering that I'm holding the list, you wouldn't know until I say it, though. X. Not X, gonna give it to you, but X from Ty West. That was a throwback to slashers of the 70s grindhouse stuff with Mia Goth in dual roles and Brittany Snow getting splattered with various fluids. I would. Anyway, Mia Goth got to be in this and another movie that may be featured on the list a little bit later, but Mia Goth was great in this, and Ty West showing exactly what he could do. I was so excited. A24 again. A goddamn 24. God bless A24. I really hope it doesn't turn out that A24 is funded by really bad people, because they understand films. Them and Neon Studios, god damn it, A24 is goddamn great. I would marry A24, but it's a studio, and I don't think the studio heads would want to do that. But A24 makes really good shit, like X. And Ty West ended up making something else, again, that may be featured a little bit later on this list. That's great shit. I was so happy to see this, and had a hell of a goddamn name. Jenna Ortega was in this too. Jenna Ortega's had a weird year. She was in this. She was in American Carnage, which is actually pretty good. She was in Scream. She's also in the Wednesday series. Easy for me to say. I still haven't checked out. Now let's get to number 9, The Innocents. Oh boy, Norwegian Teen Titans with one really, really particularly scary kid. Could have done without the animal violence, but it sort of made sense. I had to hold on to the producer after the producer's currently out hunting. Meaning he'll be bringing me back gifts, so I couldn't hold him and say, oh, protect your animals. But this was really about kids that discover they have superpowers. And it's really, really good. Really goddamn great. The Innocents is one of my favorite movies of the year because it just understood subtlety, it understood horror, and it really made one particular kid absolutely... I mean, actually, there were a few kids that were creepy. Because kids are inherently creepy. Kids should, of course, be watched, from a distance. Like, hey, this kid's creepy. Get this kid away from me. What are you doing? No! Dramatization. May not have happened. But it ends up being just one of my favorite movies because it's very well made. Very, very, very well made. I believe one of the people that had something to do with Lamb had something to do with this, I think. And it was just good. I'm trying to remember if it was Icelandic or Norway. I think it was Norway. But this, Innocence is just great. And then we get to number 8, The Black Phone. Pretty much the same that I said about Smile. If you told me that something from the crew that brought you Sinister, including Ethan Hawke, that I'm 50-50 on, would end up being one of my favorite horror movies of the year and one of my favorite films of the year, I would have laughed. Would have laughed at you. And it turns out that I would have been wrong for laughing at you. Creepy, ungodly, tension-filled, and the two main kids that were the actors, really, really great. Really great. The one that got captured, his sister, Ethan Hawke, was in rare form doing some great stuff. And it didn't last long. It was like an hour and 45 minutes. His arm is mint. And the line will be sticking in your head forever. Great. And it's from the son of Stephen King. Goddamn great. From the very opening bit, they knew what they were doing. I hated Sinister. I love this. Bravo to everybody involved. Number 7, The Northman. Okay, so the director of The Witch or The Vavitch, thank you very much, Derb. Thank you very much. And The Lighthouse. He was able to get a ton of money. Good God, about $90 million to have this loaded cast. Ethan Hawke was also in this. Anya Taylor-Joy. Good God. You can't tell me that Anya Taylor-Joy wouldn't be like the perfect woman to be with. At least in my opinion. Don't know her, but good God. Just look at her and appreciate her acting and everything. Just appreciate the fact that she just looks like a Greek goddess. Anyway, moving on from that. Anya Taylor-Joy is in this. Alexander Skarsgård. A whole bunch of goddamn people. Good grief. This is bloody, brutal. A fight on a volcano. Other words and loud noises. But The Northman was incredible, and it didn't make a dent at the box office, and I'm pissed. I loved it. I goddamn loved it. I think it's either on Prime or on Peacock at this point, but really, really good shit. You should absolutely check it out. Again, Anya Taylor-Joy. So, we get to number 6. Belle. B-E-L-L-E. I remember thinking that this might actually be good. I meant to go watch it in theaters, and then it got away from me, and I didn't get a chance to watch it until it was on streaming, and then it was only available to buy, and I didn't want to spend the money on it because at the time my time was limited. And then got a deal because of Amazon Prime, Amazon Video. It was like, fine, I'll rent it. I would have paid twice what I rented it for. I would have paid full price to watch this because it's about people sinking themselves into a universe, the you, let's hear it for the you, about where you can live how you want to be a pop star, want to be a pop star, want to live to be a rock star, live, all this stuff, like the talk of social media. And then there is this villain part in it about a tortured soul and all this stuff about loss. And good God, this movie made me cry. I did not expect the ending to this, the last number of minutes. Good grief. I didn't expect that. And yes, I know other animated movies have had stories like this, and other poignant moments, but man, this was a gut punch and an uplifting moment as well. It was great. Belle is great. I was very surprised by how much I liked it. Number 5, Pearl. I'm a star! Mia Goth produced, helped write this, and also starred as Pearl, the woman that she was in X. This is a prequel to X, by the way, because, well, given what happened in X, I mean, you would have to imagine what was going to happen. But yeah, Mia Goth is also going to be back in Maxine with 3 X's for maximum coolness. And Pearl was incredible because a lot of X took place at night and, you know, in the daytime, but the kind of the gritty daytime. This was back during the initial pandemic of the Spanish flu, and colorful and, like, wild, Wizard of Oz, What Happened to Baby Jane, a few others, like, influence from that wrapped up into this, and it's bright, colorful, scary goddamn flick with Mia Goth just absolutely turning in the performance of her life to this point. A 6 to 7 minute dialogue piece where she's talking about all the bad stuff she did to the sister-in-law character. Good grief. Give her the goddamn Oscar. Oh, they don't want to nominate a horror actress for an Oscar, but whatever. Let's just give her the unofficial Oscar, because I'm not saying that Mia Goth is the only great actress this year, but hell yeah. Hell goddamn yeah, this was great. Wasn't quite as great as number 1, though. Before that, we got to talk about number 4, Top Gun Maverick. I'm going to repeat kind of the same variation. If you told me that a sequel to Top Gun that came out 36 years later was going to end up being something that I absolutely was enthralled by in the theaters, when I never really cared for the first one, I would have laughed again in your face, and I would have felt, man, I have the weirdest case of deja vu. I have the weirdest case of Dijon mustard. And Top Gun Maverick is an incredible... If you didn't get a chance to see this in theaters, good God, it was just great to watch. If you have a good sound system and a good TV, watch it, get enthralled. That scene with Val Kilmer got me. A lot of great stuff. Jennifer Connelly looking like a goddamn beauty still after a number of years. Hasn't aged a goddamn bit. And I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise, but he did great here. You did good, you short bastard. I'm so sorry to anybody that's Scottish or Irish watching this, but Top Gun Maverick was great. Not as great, though, as RRR, a Tollywood movie. I'm sorry to anybody when I called it Bollywood. I don't know about the language differences in India. I apologize. That's my most popular review by far. It was requested, 8,000-something views, which is certainly saying something. And RRR is just this incredible... It's like $60-70 million in US dollars that, you know, got poured into this epic of 2 guys that are on warring sides but care about each other. It's a beautiful bromance. It's 3 hours and it flies by, and it's incredibly eclectic and colorful and wild and great. Watch it. That's all I can say. It's hard to describe. Number 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Speaking of things hard to describe, Michelle Yeoh and Dr. Jones, the kid, you know, the guy that played the kid in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Yeah, he returned here. A lot older, obviously, because this came out nearly 40 years after that. And Jamie Lee Curtis in this. Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, doing better here than in Halloween Ends. And so many weird multiverse things and about doing your taxes and weird shit going on, the end of the world. And I don't know how the hell they managed to make this movie work, but they did. And I'm grateful for it. Watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. Some people didn't like it and took me to task for praising it in my review. But whatever, I'm praising it. It's my list. Number 1, Nope. No, seriously, it's Jordan Peele's Nope. That's what it is. I rewatched this. This is one of the only movies that I end up rewatching on my favorites list. And it ends up actually being even better the second time around, because you see a bunch of little Easter eggs, the stuff with the chimpanzee and the movie set, and the scariness, and hey, no, keep that away from me. And also the fact that you see a whole bunch of stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff like with the creature, and Daniel Kaluuya, and Keke Palmer, who's great in this. And man, this is fantastic. I may rewatch it again at some point. Screw the chimpanzee part, though. Nope. No, it's a great movie. It's a great movie, though. I think it's Jordan Peele's best of the 3 that he's directed so far. So, that's my list. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.